Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Kyle TV. In this episode, we'll be talking about the overall cryptocurrency market. Has it reached its bottom? Is it ready to rebound? So that's kind of the million-dollar question. Also, the SEC, have they decided what they want to do with ICOs and cryptocurrency? So we'll just go ahead and dive right in. So we're seeing definitely a sea of green, and eCoin, I have no idea. Obviously, this is maybe a possible pump and dump, but it's gone parabolic. I wouldn't obviously invest in that, especially at an all-time high. That's absolutely ridiculous. But anyways, it's just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, but you're seeing some of these gains come back. Some of these gains are just in the single digit, and basically single digit gains here. So maybe we're seeing the beginning of the green, of a return of a bounce back from cryptocurrency. So, but anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the SEC. So the SEC was scheduled to meet today, and everybody's been, pretty much the entire world has been kind of waiting to see what the SEC had to say about ICOs and cryptocurrency. So SEC Chairman John Clayton just said, I want to go back to separating ICOs and cryptocurrencies. ICOs that are security offerings, we should regulate them like we regulate security offerings, end of story. So they definitely want to regulate ICOs for sure, by all means. Now, they also go on to talk about basically regulating cryptocurrencies as a whole and how they need to regulate it like they regulate the traditional financial market. And they want to come together with different regulatory bodies like the Commodity and Futures Trading Commission, known as the CFTC, and I believe some other regulatory bodies as well. But they just basically go on to says we should all come together. SEC Chief John Clayton said during a question period, the federal banking regulators, the CFTC, the SEC, and states involved as well have a coordinated plan for dealing with the virtual currency trading market. So they definitely want to regulate virtual currency trading as well. It says we must put in place sound regulatory frameworks. CFTC Chairman Giancarlo said during his testimony. Hopefully I said his name right. Also says committee chairman Mike Crapo, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right either, asked Clayton if he thought that the SEC might need additional legislative powers to get the job done. I think we may. Clayton curtly replied, without elaborating on what these powers may be. So they did hint at needing more powers as far as additional legislative powers of regulating cryptocurrency. So let's go ahead and keep scrolling down here. Says Clayton reiterated the statement in his testimony on Tuesday, saying, I believe every ICO I've seen is a security. He noted in his full testimony that no ICOs have registered with the SEC to date. Also, it says, I don't think the gatekeepers that we rely on to assist us in making sure our security laws are followed have done their job. Clayton said folks somehow got comfortable that this is new and it's okay and they're not securities, that they're just another way to raise money, but I disagree. I am understanding that this is a violation of law, ? Senator Elizabeth Warren asked. Clayton said yes, he answered. So Senator Warren asked Clayton about the recent Bloomberg report that the SEC is considering allowing companies to conduct public offerings to block investors from mounting class action lawsuits. This is potentially relevant to cryptocurrencies because an early ICO known as the DAO, which was allegedly hacked in 2016 and lost more than $50 million of investors' money, seemed to require that investors give up their right to sue the DAO's creators in terms of use. The SEC has never barred investors who have been cheated from bringing down class action lawsuits, Warren said. I can't prejudge an issue that may come before the SEC, Clayton said, but I'm not anxious to see a change in this area. And says also committee ranking member Brown also encouraged Clayton and Giancarlo not to forget their day jobs taking on Wall Street and big banks. So that was kind of funny that he said that, adding that in, like, hey, don't forget that you have your roles in existing markets. Don't forget it. Don't get too far off track in managing other markets. So that's quite interesting. Currently, cryptocurrency regulations in the U.S. are a patchwork of rulings and state regulations, and the message from the SEC and the FTC is clear. The U.S. needs a unified federal regulatory regime for a technology that's still in its Wild West phase. And I could agree with that. I could agree that ICOs do need some definitely regulatory framework. I don't know if they need to fully regulate the ICO market. Maybe so. As far as the virtual or cryptocurrency trading, I think some regulations are obviously good. If they come at it like traditional financial markets, it may steer away a lot of money, as people don't want to be obviously regulated in the cryptocurrency market. But I think some regulation is needed in especially the ICO area, because there's tons of scams out there and you just got to be careful with what you invest your money in. So I get that, but it is very interesting to see that how they want to regulate everything. So it's kind of tricky to navigate, and they talk about new legislative powers as well, because it is difficult to regulate cryptocurrencies in ICOs at the current moment, because it's not like you're receiving actual cash fiat money. You're receiving cryptocurrency, basically virtual tokens, which aren't technically, they're not a currency. They're just what they consider is a type of asset as far as the IRS is concerned. So maybe they start, basically, it's seemingly like they would have to make cryptocurrencies more legitimate than they actually are today. And so maybe they're having trouble trying to regulate the market with somehow trying to not make cryptocurrencies seem as legitimate as they are. But it's seemingly like that's going to have to be the case. They're going to have to make cryptocurrencies and ICOs more legitimate, and rightly so in ICO areas, as I said before. But that's something to think about, especially with how definitely you have a lot of big companies that have a lot of different influence in these larger markets and what they have to say about it. But that is basically positive news in a nutshell as far as cryptocurrencies is concerned. ICOs, we've already kind of known basically what has already been said about the SEC in a few press releases, I believe, before, that they want to regulate ICOs. They have the Howey test or whatever that they would like to see ICOs come to pass those tests, and if they don't pass them, to that they pretty much are, I don't know if you pass them or don't pass them, but the test basically goes on to test if you're qualified as a security and need to register with this SEC. So I think that's a good idea, but I don't think they should regulate it to a point where average retail investors aren't able to somehow buy ICOs and things of that nature. If it's too regulated, they're going to lose. Some of these ICOs aren't going to be as successful as we've seen in the past. But like I said, I think it's a good idea. There's a lot of scams out there. You really do have to be careful. A lot of people can just make your own coins on different kinds of marketplaces like Waves and Ethereum, build on top of that and make your own ERC20 coin, your own smart contracts and things of that nature. On Waves, it's even easier to do on some of these platforms. So I think it's definitely positive news. The market reacts. Let me know what you think. Are we at the bottom of the market? Do you think it's going to go back up? It has shot up, and it's slightly just a little bit down, just a little bit, as you can see on the chart here. So let me know what you guys think. Are we at the bottom? Is it time for this thing to lift back up? So comment below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video and at the blockchain. Peace. Hey, Kyle Wilson here. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys subscribe if you want more crypto related videos. Peace.